They hate you, don't they? With a passion that burns hotter than their own shame. Why? Because their arsenal of tricks, lies, and manipulations wasn't enough to shatter someone like you. They crafted their game so carefully, thinking they'd catch you in their web. But instead you slipped through like smoke, untouchable, unbroken. They despised that you stood tall, even when they threw their worst at you. It wasn't supposed to be this way. In their minds, you were meant to crumble, to kneel, to beg for mercy. But instead, you smiled, rose higher, and left them wondering how someone like you could exist in their world of petty games and false personas. They thought they knew your limits, thought they had figured out your breaking point. They tested you, pushed you, pried at your soul. But all they found was a strength they couldn't fathom, a resilience that rendered their tactics useless. And now they hate you for proving them wrong. Oh, the audacity of you, to refuse to be a pawn in their twisted little chess game, to see through their moves, call their bluffs, and refuse to play by their rules. It infuriates them, doesn't it? They built their identity on control, on being the puppet master. And you? You cut the strings and walked away. It's their ego that stings the most. They prided themselves on being the clever one, the one who could outwit, outplay, outlast. But they didn't account for you. Someone who wouldn't engage. Someone who wouldn't stoop to their level. They underestimated your spirit, and now they're paying the price. Their hatred for you is rooted in their own inadequacy. They see in you everything they lack: strength, integrity, the ability to rise above. It's easier for them to hate you than to face the truth about themselves. Hatred, after all, is a distraction. It keeps them from looking in the mirror and seeing the flaws they tried so hard to hide. You walked away, didn't you? That's what kills them the most. You didn't stay to fight. You didn't stick around to feed their games. You chose yourself, your peace, your freedom. And that choice, it's a dagger to their fragile pride. They hate you because you made them feel powerless. Their games were designed to control, to dominate, to bend others to their will. But you showed them what true power looks like. The power to rise, to endure, to thrive despite their best efforts to tear you down. Their hatred is a mask for their envy. Deep down, they wish they had what you have: the strength to walk away, the courage to stand tall, the clarity to see through the lies. But instead, they're trapped in their own games, victims of their own manipulations. They tried to paint you as the villain, didn't they? Tried to twist the narrative, make it seem like you were the problem. But the truth has a way of shining through, doesn't it? And now their lies are unraveling, leaving them exposed, vulnerable, and seething with hatred. It's ironic, really. They hate you for not breaking. Yet their hatred is a testament to your strength. Every ounce of venom they spit your way only proves that you're stronger than they could ever be. Their hatred is their defeat, their acknowledgement that they couldn't win against someone like you. They'll spend their nights replaying the moments, wondering where they went wrong. They'll try to convince themselves that it wasn't their fault. that you were just too difficult, too stubborn, too strong-willed. But deep down, they know the truth. They know they met their match and lost. You are their reminder that their games have limits, that no matter how skilled they think they are, there are people in this world who cannot be broken, who cannot be controlled. You are their wake-up call, their lesson, their reckoning. Their hatred for you is a reflection of their failure. They hate you because you exposed their weakness. Their inability to dominate someone as powerful as you. You didn't just survive their games, you transcended them. And now they're left with nothing but their hatred. It consumes them, eats away at their soul, while you move forward, free and unbothered. Their hatred is their prison, and you hold the key. But you won't turn back to free them, will you? Number. You're too busy living your life, thriving in ways they could never imagine. Let them hate you. Let their hatred fuel your fire, remind you of your strength, your worth, your resilience. Their hatred is proof that you won, that you rose above, that you refuse to be defined by their games. This hatred they harbor, it's their burden to bear, not yours. You shed their toxicity, left their games behind, and stepped into your power. Their hatred is their punishment, their reminder of the one they couldn't break. Their hatred burns quietly, doesn't it? Like an ember that never dies, fueled by the realization that they couldn't control you. Oh, they'll act indifferent, laugh louder than necessary, surround themselves with distractions. But every quiet moment is a confrontation with the truth. You slipped through their grasp, untouched, unbroken, and stronger than they could ever handle. They thought they had power over you, didn't they? Believed their manipulation could mold you into something smaller, weaker, easier to control. But instead, you became a mirror, reflecting back their inadequacies, their failures, their petty games. And now that reflection haunts them, a constant reminder of what they couldn't conquer. Their ego? It's in shambles, crumbling under the weight of their own insecurities. You didn't just leave them. You left them questioning their own worth. They thought they were the puppet master, but you severed the strings, leaving them flailing in their own emptiness. Every move you make now is a testament to your independence, your resilience, your refusal to bow down. And with every step forward you take, their hatred grows. Not because of what you did, but because of what they couldn't do. Break you. They hate that your silence speaks louder than any words ever could. Oh, they crave your attention, even your anger, because it would mean they still mattered. But you gave them nothing. No explanation, no closure. Just the cold, hard truth of your absence. And that absence, it's deafening. It echoes through their mind. A void they can't fill, no matter how hard they try. They'll replace, distract, pretend, but deep down they'll always feel the shadow of what they lost when you walked away. They hate you for your strength, but that strength is exactly why they were drawn to you in the first place. It's the paradox that keeps them up at night. The qualities they admired in you, were the very ones that made you untouchable. Oh, they'll tell themselves it was you who was wrong. They'll spin stories, paint themselves as the victim, gather an audience to validate their lies. But the truth? It lingers unspoken, a ghost in the room that only they can see. Their games? They've turned inward now. The manipulator has become the manipulated, caught in a web of their own making. Every lie they told, every deceitful move, it haunts them now, replaying endlessly in their mind. And you've risen above it all, untouchable, unreachable. They hate you because you've shown them a world beyond their games, a world they'll never understand, because they're too busy trying to win battles that no longer matter. They hate the way you glow now, brighter than ever, as if their attempts to dim your light only made it stronger. Your resilience is a beacon, a spotlight shining on their failures, their insecurities, their inability to control someone as powerful as you. They hate that you're thriving, that you found peace, happiness, and purpose without them. It eats away at their pride, their ego, their sense of self. Because in their world, they were supposed to be the center of everything. And you shattered that illusion. Every success you achieve, every smile you wear, every step you take, it's a blow to their fragile ego. They'll never admit it, but they watch from the shadows, seething with jealousy, anger, and regret. They hate you because you didn't just walk away. You walked into a better life, one they'll never be a part of. They thought they were irreplaceable, but you proved them wrong. And now they're left clinging to the pieces of a reality that no longer exists. Oh, they'll pretend they're fine, that they've moved on, but their actions betray them. The way they talk about you, the way they react to your success, the way they try to convince themselves they don't care at all, it screams of a hatred born from their own failure. They hate you because you expose the truth, that their games, their manipulations, their attempts to control you, it was all a reflection of their own weakness. And now they're left to face that truth, day after day, with no one to blame but themselves. They hate that you found freedom while they remain trapped in their own cycles of toxicity. You broke free, soared higher, and left them behind. And that freedom, it's the ultimate revenge, a testament to your strength and their failure. Their hatred is a chain they'll carry forever, a constant reminder of what they lost and what they could never have again. And you've left those chains behind, walking forward into a future they can only dream of. Let them hate, my dear. Let them stew in their own venom, their own regret, their own self-inflicted misery. Their hatred is their burden to bear, not yours. You've risen above it all, unbroken, unbothered, and unstoppable. You are the embodiment of resilience. The proof that their games, their manipulations, their hatred, it all falls apart in the face of true strength. You are the lesson they never wanted but desperately needed. And now, they hate you for being everything they could never be.